and 4, so techniques weren't as developed as they are today. Nowadays, we find players cranking 90s and bursting out those building moves, but back then, they were practically impossible on controller. Let's fast forward a bit and take a look at a critical point in Fortnite history, the introduction of the Playground. Playground became a permanent addition to the game on July 25th, and finally, it gave all players from noob to pro an environment to test and develop their talents. And with its release, Sway was taking off. He was already a fanatic for pushing his building skills to the limit, so Playgrounds was pretty much his dream come true. Speaking of building, you guys know 90s, right? They're probably the most well-known building technique, but you want to know who helped popularize them? Well, that's right, none other than FaZe Sway. Everyone else was still using the old myth build-up strategy, but it ended up being so outdated. It used more materials and it wasn't very quick at gaining height. But given Sway's expertise in building, he quickly started preferring another faster and much more efficient method. If it wasn't for Sway, a ton of players wouldn't even know how to make the best 90s. At this point, Sway was growing at an unbelievable pace, so much so that he outgrew Team Vicious and decided to join and co-lead Chronic alongside a few other well-known names. One being his friend Luis, who he still plays with today. For a while, Chronic was one of the most popular teams out there. Their recruitment challenges allowed anybody to potentially join and feel if they were part of this big thing. And it really helped boost the org from nothing all the way to the top. That is, until they disband. Unfortunately, without much structure or an end goal, teams like Chronic can't sustain themselves for very long, so the majority of the members moved on to other things. And on March 12th, 2019, our dear friend Sway was picked up by one of the most well-known orgs in the world, FaZe Clan. Like with most people that joined FaZe, Sway exploded in popularity. He wasn't just some kid uploading build battle montages from his PS4, he was now FaZe Sway. With almost 1 million subscribers, the news of him joining pretty much broke the internet for a couple of days. Anyone could talk about was FaZe Sway. The guy's talents had reached levels never thought to be possible. Unfortunately though, increased popularity has its downsides. Because of a mishap with creator codes, Sway missed out on tens of thousands of dollars in revenue simply because there's another YouTuber called Sway. You see, FaZe Sway's code is Yo Sway. He had to set it to that because the other guy's code was Sway, and he had that first. Fans eager to support Sway forgot about the Yo, and as you can see, it led to thousands of dollars being funneled to the wrong creator. Since the magical moment of joining FaZe, Sway's growth had been incredible. His subscriber count more than doubled to now over 2 million subscribers, and he also got invited to big money competitions like Fortnite Friday, where he made an absolutely dominant showing, clutching up solo squads and serving up evidence why he deserves the title of best controller player in the world.
The storm flip, he's gonna get away. What a break off the bottom he had. Sway Glider redeploys. He is making a show out of these players. One still remains. He's got plenty of mats to make it work.
From the backside, still 2 players left. That would be 28 eliminations. Double trap for good measure. Enjoy it.
Now it's the Bushman versus Sway.
This is incredible.
The player drops.
What can't this man do?
Oh my gosh.
My God.
27 eliminations. Valkyrie, why'd you leave?
There's the bush.
Everybody left, actually.
Oh my God, he's
Or
got
no,
28
there you go,
kills,
Sway.
bro.
Besides all of these astounding life-changing developments, Sway also became known in the community as the quintessential creative warrior. His retakes were top-notch, his builds were as smooth as they could be, and he even took the Mongrel Edit Course world record, beat it, and then surpassed his own record once again. The majority of Sway's content nowadays consists of 1v1s against well-known players, exciting match highlights, and clips of him cranking out awe-inspiring free builds. There's a ton to watch on his channel, and if you aren't already subscribed to him, you absolutely should be. He's an incredible wonder in Fortnite. FaZe has had a truly remarkable career, one with a lot of meaning and a lot of hard work behind it. It's really easy to look at him and say, wow, he's so lucky. But when you look back at the past 2 years and you see the sweat and blood he sacrificed, you realize that he definitely deserves the success. That's our video concluding the evolution of FaZe. What an interesting guy, an amazing story he has, and he's still building his legacy as we speak. Once again, my name is Christoph, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or consider subscribing to the channel. If you guys want to get better at Fortnite this season, make sure to click the description link below and go find your pro player right now to play with in your games. That's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your next few games.
It is literally free money. Why would you not install it? Honey, but not this one, this one. They are a free browser extension available on almost any internet browser. Apply coupon, scans the internet, and we save $10. Honey knows every code, discount, and sale on over 20,000 websites. Look, Amazon, Walmart, eBay. Wow, there's just so many. Those of you who have installed Honey using my link have saved almost $4 million. This is all you do. Click here, done. You can get Honey for free at joinhoney.com. There is no reason not to. You will save hundreds of dollars over the course of your life, maybe even thousands if you use it.
When you ask a big streamer what it takes to go pro, they're usually going to respond with either you're really good at the game or you're really, really entertaining. And Mr. Fresh Asian is both of those things.
Cheeky Duandy. God dang, I'm popping up!
What is up, Pro Guides family, and welcome back to my bedroom. We are no longer going to be using the studio, as some of you know. Keith Al and I will now be filming from our houses. I know it can feel really isolating if you live alone, or if you live with a family as crazy as mine, then it can be really tough. Right now, there are question marks everywhere and no one knows what's going on. Let us just relax and enjoy this video about Mr. Fresh Asian, and hopefully he inspires some of you guys to become content creators yourselves one day. And if you are in that group who are feeling a little bit isolated right now, feel free to connect with me on Instagram. I would love to talk with you guys. Remember, you do have a community with us here at Pro Guides. All right, guys, let's get into the video. In just a little under 2 years, Fresh has accomplished the unimaginable. It wasn't that long ago he was mostly a nobody, but since then he's blown up and made a massive name for himself. His viewers came for the jaw-dropping moments and stayed for his lovable personality. Still, what a lot of people don't know about the pickle-loving Australian is just how difficult he had it growing up. His entire life, countless obstacles stood in the way, the likes of which required non-stop hustling to overcome. Luckily, Fresh is a natural-born hustler. Mr. Fresh Asian began his journey at a very young age. Around the time he was in kindergarten, his older stepbrother introduced him to the highly anticipated class-based shooter Team Fortress 2. This was Fresh's first popular game, and right away, he became obsessed. For days on end, all he'd want to do is play TF2, and part of that obsession was because of his older brother who, you see, just happened to be a pro player. The high-level gameplay Fresh witnessed blew him away. It inspired him. After seeing just what could be accomplished, there was nothing more he wanted to do than to be just as good as his brother. So he put in the time and rapidly improved, not all the way to the pro level, but to a point where he could join a server, rack up kill after kill, and top the scoreboard without a problem. And considering his age at the time, this feat was ridiculously impressive. Fresh would eventually move on from TF2 to more competitive titles, one of which was Counter-Strike. Now, we've done several of these stories so far, and in almost every single one, the person we look at plays Counter-Strike before getting into Fortnite. There is something about that game that attracts greatness and competition that is the perfect beginning to every Fortnite pro. Now that he was older, he could take gaming more seriously. No matter what, he'd sweat and try as hard as possible to become the best player he could. He'd even travel to small local LAN tournaments armed with just a dingy old laptop. And while everyone else was equipped with their best PCs, it didn't matter to Fresh. He'd whoop them in the competition, win prizes, and slowly worked his way towards a better setup. Just before Fresh turned 16, he hopped on the bandwagon, like many other players were, and joined in on the game that was taking the world by storm, Fortnite. Around this time, Fresh took a massive gamble. He dropped out of school to pursue his dream of going pro, which is a very, very risky situation, but in Fresh's case, it was even more risky. His parents had divorced, and eventually he ended up living with his mom in one of the most poverty-stricken suburbs in Australia. They didn't have much, money was tight, and so to take the leap at becoming a pro gamer was the riskiest thing that he could do. But with Fresh's drive to be the greatest, to be the best that he could be, nothing else mattered. He hopped into the grind and went pro.
Cause like I always set myself like a minimum amount of wins a day. I'd say like I have to get 15 wins every day. Like I would sit there, no matter like if I'm having the most tilting time, I would still play.
15 wins per day. Most of us weren't getting that in a week. Fortnite was so new, but it came so naturally to Fresh. However, he also committed to the hard grind, so no matter the circumstances, Fresh was guaranteed to make an enormous splash in the oceanic scene. Soon after, Fresh teamed up with the Australian dynamic duo, the X2 Twins, to form what was dubbed the Twinsanity Squad. And these guys were miles ahead of the competition. Fresh won event after event with his teammates, and eventually Twinsanity got noticed by none other than the Renegades, a premier esports org looking to pick up the best Australia had to offer. And of course, because of Twinsanity's insane win record and overall devotion to being the finest, they signed Fresh and the rest of the team without hesitation. Finally, on a pro team, Fresh's dream was starting to become a reality. But the grind never ended, and he was only grinding more, not just to become an esports superstar, but to become one of the biggest YouTube content creators as well. Fresh had always wanted to become a streamer. It was one of his lifelong dreams, but there was a problem in his way. The internet where he lived was awful, and if he wanted to broadcast his gameplay, he'd have to stream at 540p, which is extremely pixelated, and most people would not want to watch him. The quality was, well, just see for yourself.
No, stop fighting.
Man, this game's boring. Isn't there any good game out there that's free?
Boy, kids, you're new with League of Legends.
What's happening?
Did somebody say free? Because League of Legends is one of the most popular free games in the world.
Yeah, but isn't that game pay to win?
Wait, what did you just say?
Isn't that game pay to win?
Not pay to win, skills to win. You don't have to pay a single cent to win against someone who's paid hundreds of dollars in the game. It's all about teamwork and your own skills playing champions.
Wait, what's a champion?
Well, let me show you. Look at this. You want to be a super robot with giant extendable rocket hands? There's a champion for that. Want to be a ninja assassin that does shadow clone jutsu and literally teleports behind you? There's a champion for that. Want to be a celestial dragon orbited by stars that throws literal galaxies at you, breaking the very fabric of the universe? There's a champion for that.
Oh, can I be an armadillo?
Boom, you got it. Armadillo.
Alright.
Over 140 champions to choose from, each with different playstyles and abilities. Now, all within the next 10 minutes. No, we can't do this all day. I'll throw in my brand new game mode, Teamfight Tactics, absolutely free. This is a brand new strategy game mode where you build up a team of champions to fight against others to be the last man standing. Throw in ARAM, which is always good fun, and that's 3 game modes for the price of $0. It's actually free. I know, I'm crazy. We're gonna make the world play LOL again, one slap at a time. Here's how to order.
Still, despite his internet and all the other obstacles, Fresh was committed to streaming. If his connection died, he'd boot back up again and just try and keep playing. Even though he'd lose viewers every single time, there was nothing he could do about it. It didn't matter to him. He needed to do it. He put in the hours and managed to build a small and loyal fan base who kept returning to watch him, even with the low quality and even with the bad connection. And in September of 2018, Fresh would finally get the break of a lifetime. One day, it was just business as usual, sweating it out in some duos, when out of nowhere, he eliminated one of Fortnite's biggest stars, Lachlan. I don't know exactly how they ended up getting in touch after that. I think it was a Twitch follow and then some DMs on Twitter. But long story short, Lachlan took Fresh under his wing.
How the hell can you have a 70% win rate? You know what mine is? Mine's 4%! Mine's 4% win rate! Can you coach me?
This led to Lachlan and Fresh playing together a ton, and not too long after, through this amazing friendship, Fresh also became great friends with a couple of other legends, Lazarbeam and Muselk, aka members of the Click Crew. And after appearing in so many of their videos, helping them get high kill dubs and complete absurd challenges, Fresh's own popularity started accelerating at lightning speed. But it wasn't just a business relationship. You see many streamers pairing up without actually liking each other, just trying to grow their network. But that wasn't the case. These guys actually really liked Fresh. His personality was chill, he didn't freak out or act weird meeting them, unlike a lot of us that would. Instead, he was just himself, and meshed super well with the entire group. So much so that they eventually said, "Hey Fresh, no more living in your current situation, in your 45 degrees in the summer house. Join our crew, come live with us." For Fresh, that was a huge success because it meant he can finally show the world what he was made of. But now that Fresh was part of such an influential group, he had a choice to make. Should he continue his path at becoming a pro Fortnite player, or diverge and take the more lucrative content creation route? Well, considering how tough it is to make it as an esports player in Australia, a country often underrepresented, the choice was obvious. Fresh stopped scrimming and limited his time practicing. Now, he'd put growing his channels front and center. However, that didn't mean that he had to stop competing entirely. So, when he was invited to the Australian Open Summer Smash, we got to see him perform in his prime.
Of the highest point on the map here, and now he's in a great position, but he doesn't even want to stay high ground. He wants nothing but an elimination. He wants to end this one. It's going to be him in a 1 versus 1. It all comes down to this. Mr. Fresh Asian misses the shot. He's going to want that one back, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, he still has that high ground, and he also has the health advantage. Gets the shot across, and Mr. Fresh Asian.
That dominating performance thrust Fresh into first place, which won him 50 grand for the charity of his choice and incredible honor amongst the community. A couple months later though, the Fortnite World Cup got announced, and considering his recent move away from taking comp seriously, Fresh's fans were all wondering if he'd compete, and if he would, who would be his duo partner? Well, the answer was yes, he did compete, and out of all the players he could have chosen for his duo, he picked his buddy, his pal, Lachlan. Instantly, his fans questioned that decision, but to Fresh, seriously competing wasn't really at the forefront of his mind. Instead, he'd rather just play and focus on having a good time, making entertaining videos for his and Lachlan's channels along the way. And oh my god, this duo, despite being such a meme with Lachlan not being a competitive player and all, they actually did incredibly well. And in qualifying week number 8, Fresh's back must have hurt a lot because he was carrying especially hard.
Above. No build. On the left side. Try to finish.
Yeah.
1v1. 3 builds. No builds. Shoot down.
Let's go.
With one game remaining, they were at 91 points, almost at the top of the leaderboard. Time was running out, and this happened.
Bro,
It was unfortunate, but even with that bit of luck, they finished 7th, a stellar performance, all things considered. But by the end of qualifiers, Fresh had a new duo partner, Rel, and this time, he was the real deal. So when the ridiculously large Trios FNCS prize pools were revealed, no more meme teams. They needed a legit pro third player, and fast. And after holding some tryouts, they decided on Jinx, another one of OCE's top players. And oh man, did this trio show up. Week after week, they'd finish near top 10, top 6, or top 3, popping off more than enough to qualify for the finals. And when the finals came, their skill and team play together came out in spades.
Let's go.
Their gameplay was insane, often with Fresh doing a lot of the heavy lifting. When it was all said and done, they finished 3rd best in their region, only 2 points shy from 2nd, and earned $18,000 as a result. Then, the Chapter 2 FNCS came. This time, it was squads, so our trio needed a 4th. They teamed up with none other than Link, the absolute nutter. And again, Fresh and his team cemented themselves as being their region's top competitors. Beyond solid teamwork and high individual skill, which took them into the top 10 nearly every week and easily qualified them for the season finals. But when finals day came and Fresh was warming up, a bit of a curse struck. 2 FNCS came. This time, it was squads, so our trio needed a 4th. They teamed up with none other than Link, the absolute nutter. And again, Fresh and his team cemented themselves as being their region's top competitors. Beyond solid teamwork and high individual skill, which took them into the top 10 nearly every week and easily qualified them for the season finals. But when finals day came and Fresh was warming up, a bit of a curse struck. Only hours away from game time, his mouse broke.
Oh my god, there's no way. 40. Wait, there's no way my thumbnail, my thumb button is broke.
No way. What?
Luckily, he was able to get a friend to bring him a new one, so crisis averted. And with Link now at their side, this God Squad absolutely killed it.
90.
Nice, boys. Good stuff.
It was a brilliant performance. Every one of them played their heart out, and in the end, with insanely consistent performance, they finished 2nd and took home $21,000 split between them. Fresh always struggled to strike a balance between competitive play and content creation, but at this point, he'd found it. He didn't have to endlessly scrim or take time away from his stream. He could show up, compete, and still engage his audience. And despite not fully committing, his performance in the last 2 events proved once and for all that he was one of the best players in the world. So what's next for Fresh? He most recently got picked up as a content creator by esports giant Luminosity Gaming as he left Renegades a while ago. And with that signing, he's going to have a rich career continuously focusing on streaming, branding, and making hilarious videos for all of us to enjoy. Of all these story videos that we've done, I personally like this one. He's had to overcome a lot of obstacles. He's an awesome person, super funny to watch. He makes me laugh every time I watch him. We wish Mr. Fresh Asian the best of luck on his career. He's just absolutely killing it. And if you are not subbed to him already, go check his channel out. He does amazing stuff. That's it for the video on Mr. Fresh Asian. Let us know what you guys think about it below. We really put a lot of work into this one for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. Once again, if you feel like connecting with me personally, you can add me on Instagram. I'd love to talk with you guys. And if you do want to get better at Fortnite, you know where to go. You can go to ProGuides.com and find a pro coach who's willing to help you right now. That's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your next few games.
Hi, Hyun here with League of Legends. Now you're gonna be saying wow every time you play this video game. Now look at this, I'm a blind monk. 1 slap, I'm farming some gold. 2 slaps, you slap on some friends, and look at this. The more you slap, the funner it gets. You don't have to switch any games. Now you like your friends, but you hate finding it. Play solo, meet new people, play with your friends to build up that teamwork. Now I'm an introvert too, but get the friends in once in a while. League of Legends, one of the most played games in the entire world. You wanna play a cute furry devil that shoots darts in your eyes? There's a champion for that. You wanna play an undead crying zombie with depression? There's a champion for that. You want to play a fat evil cyborg who has his legs replaced with mechanical spider arms and shoots a hook from his belly button and grabs onto people and sucks them into an orifice where they're grinded up alive? We have a champion for that. Over 140 champions to choose from, each with different playstyles and abilities. Now, you know we can't do this all day, but if you slap on that link below, I'm gonna give you this game for free. We're gonna make the world lol again, one slap at a time.
What's going on, guys? It is your motivation guy. That's right, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen. And I'm not in person today because I have to record from home because of all this COVID-19 business. And you know what? I'm rolling with the punches. I choose to be positive, and I want you guys to choose to be positive. I know it's so inconvenient to not be able to do the things that you want to do, go where you want to go, you know, hang out with the people that you want to hang with. So many things are being canceled. Like, there's so many things going on, but like, let's choose to be positive, all right? Listen, I'm in person, but you got to check me out on my Instagram at Your Motivation Guy. Check me out. I'm putting up posts to inspire you to be great in this life, all right? Also in this game, man, like, this is what we got to do. Let's change the world, guys, one person at a time. Y'all with me? Okay, so guys, in today's video, we're going to be showing you guys the story of YouTuber Lazarbeam and how he went from a high school dropout to an international internet superstar. All right, guys, so for our question of the day, what's your favorite Lazarbeam video? I'll let you know my opinion later on in this video. But before we get into this, all right, we got to talk about you for a second. Everybody say, it's time to talk about me. All right, so do you feel like your Fortnite skills are sorely lacking? Do you think you can have a little bit more improvement? Well, don't worry, my friends. The Pro Guides website has you guys covered, where we have pro coaches who can help you forge into the ultimate Fortnite player. They're going to teach you guys structure, mental discipline, mechanics, and much more. So what are you waiting for? All right, guys, it's about that time. Ladies and gentlemen around the world, you better scream this out. It's time to sit back, come on, relax, and grab some of my favorite candy. What is that, guys? Come on, say with me. It's that Bunch of Crunch. And you know we better get this going. When Fortnite took the world by storm, it raised a whole new generation of content creators to the peak of YouTube. There were pro players able to finally get their chance to shine, streamers that had managed to find their niche, and YouTubers that had something fresh to make videos on. Lazarbeam didn't rely on Fortnite to change his life, but it definitely helped.
I'm so bad! Ah! Ah!
Sometimes, you know, people think that school simply isn't for them, even if they don't have something like YouTube to fall back on. When Lazarbeam was just 15 years old, he didn't have anything close to an online entertainment career, but he already knew that his future didn't lie in books and exams. By dropping out of school, you know, it isn't an easy choice, and it came with its own set of hardships and challenges. Lazarbeam had to find work, and fast. The work he ended up finding was a construction job. It wasn't something that he enjoyed, physical labor, you know, constructing buildings no matter the weather, but it paid the bills, right? And served as the gateway into something he actually did enjoy. When Lazarbeam started making YouTube videos, there was nothing to do with gaming in the slightest. And in fact, he didn't even really appear in them. Instead of just making gaming content, he worked with what he had at the time and decided to make content while he was at work. How do you make entertaining videos on a construction site? You focus on the destruction. The videos are all private now, but Lazarbeam's first channel was called Crush/Lash and was focused around things being crushed and destroyed by various construction vehicles.
Let's do this. Wow.
There was a wide variety of destruction involved, from computers being run over by bulldozers to Christmas baubles being decimated by wood chippers. Lazarbeam has described his antics on the Crush/Lash channel as being an Australian knockoff version of the Slow Mo guys, and that really was just him and his brother doing illegal things with construction machinery. It was clearly something that Lazarbeam enjoyed though, because he also said that he probably would still be doing it today if his camera gear didn't get stolen. But the fact of the matter is this, his camera gear did get stolen, and all of a sudden Lazarbeam had no way to express his new passion, making YouTube content. With no camera gear to record the destruction he had become so used to, Lazarbeam was finally introduced to the world of gaming content, and his journey could truly begin. While it might not be so obvious in his videos anymore, Lazarbeam has always been a fan of American football. Most football fans of the game first and the Madden series of the video game second, but in Lazarbeam's case, it was the total opposite way around. When he was growing up, Lazarbeam saw an episode of Family Guy featuring Tom Brady, and by the time he started playing Madden, Brady was the only character he knew. So he started to use the Patriots and over time became a massive fan. Why are we talking football and Madden? Because this is where Lazarbeam's gaming YouTube career really got started. This is where Lazarbeam really got started, and you can see the influence these earlier videos have had on his channel even in his most recent videos. Lazarbeam has always loved, doing challenges, and these early Madden videos were no different. He threw tiny characters against giant characters. He tried to simulate major plays from real life NFL games, and he even tried to get quarterback Aaron Rodgers to catch a Hail Mary. When it comes to growth on platforms like YouTube, everyone knows that you have to be playing the right kind of game to really get noticed by the masses of content watchers out there. Madden was not the right kind of game. There is a definite ceiling in the amount of people that watch Madden content on YouTube and Twitch, probably much lower than the amount of people that watch actual American football. Lazarbeam had a new choice to make. He could continue only to make Madden videos and watch his growth on YouTube stagnate, or he could play games that would guarantee him a wider viewership base. As you can tell by the fact we're even making this video, Lazarbeam ditched Madden for bigger and better things. Not all of his original fans were happy with this choice, with many claiming that he was just selling out just to get more views, though eventually that just became a meme surrounding his channel. Why was Lazarbeam a sellout? Because one of the games he chose to play was the game that was quickly becoming a global phenomenon, Fortnite Battle Royale. His first Fortnite video was made when the game was in its first season, back when we were all bots and had no idea what was really going on. The video was called #1 Battle Royale Strategy, Fortnite Battle Royale, and has since managed to rack up 1.5 million views. As with all of Lazarbeam's most influential videos, it started with a challenge, though this time, one that was simple. He would play Fortnite for as long as it took for him to get a win, and with a few days of playing under his belt, that wasn't going to be especially easy. The first game looked like it was going to go well. Lazarbeam got a sniper early and enough shield portions to put him up to max health. But then another player managed to hunt him down in a basement and eliminate him without even taking a single shot of damage. It's here that we realize why Lazarbeam said this would be a challenge. He's not particularly good at Fortnite Battle Royale. After a quick listen of his pump up song, Lazarbeam was right back into it. After finding a scar, Lazarbeam remarks that there must be no way he could possibly mess things up. At first, it looked like he might have been right, and even managed to get a couple of eliminations. But it was only a matter of time before he came up against someone who actually knew how to build, and they managed to take him out with ease. With a shotgun and a scoped rifle in his inventory, it looked like the tide was finally going to change for Lazarbeam. He even managed to get himself to a supply crate. Time went on, Lazarbeam had a ton of materials and made it into the top 5. He built himself a base, and then this was the result. What? The best Lazarbeam managed to do in that video was the second place spot, a position he only managed to achieve by hiding out in bushes and abusing the fact that people couldn't see him at the time. He may not have managed to get the first place spot in his first Fortnite Battle Royale video, but it started off a journey for him to evolve, from being a player with 0 wins to being a player with, well, 1 win. It finally happened on Lazarbeam's third video. In a video named 15 Hours, One Challenge, it finally happened. Lazarbeam managed to score his very first solo win. He did pretty much nothing for the entirety of the game, right up until the final circle, where he managed to take out 2 people and finally get the win. Why was the video called 15 Hours, One Challenge if the video wasn't 15 hours long? That's how long Lazarbeam had to play to finally get a solo win. It may seem strange that a YouTuber who was so obviously bad at Fortnite would decide to take that game as their focus for a YouTube channel, but Lazarbeam just went from success to success. Unlike Madden, Fortnite didn't have a viewership ceiling. Almost everyone in the world watched and played Fortnite Battle Royale, and so his channel was able to balloon in size. In April 2019, his YouTube channel finally reached the 10 million subscriber mark, marking him as the second ever Australian gaming-related content creator to reach the milestone. By July 2019, he was the third most subscribed Fortnite-centric streamer, with over 10.8 million subscribers and over 3 billion views. But some things never changed, and the comedy-centric challenge-styled videos were where Lazarbeam felt most comfortable. From spawning over 1,000 bots in creative mode to the climate change challenge, where Lazarbeam had to traverse the Chapter 2 Season 2 map while only sticking to the areas that were still covered in snow. His channel has been able to boom to over 12 million subscribers, with every video pulling over 4 million views in the last 3 months. To say he's become a success would probably be a bit of an understatement. By the end of 2019, it had been announced that Lazarbeam would be appearing as himself in the movie Free Guy, a movie that takes inspiration from both Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite. Following an NPC in a video game world who discovers that his world is in fact just an open world video game. He was also acknowledged in the 2019 end of year roundup video, YouTube Rewind 2019, as being the 8th most viewed content creator on the planet, with a total of 2 billion views in 2019. In 2020 alone, Lazarbeam has already had some extreme successes. It was announced that he, along with a couple other YouTubers, has signed an exclusivity deal to only stream on YouTube, making him immediately one of the biggest dedicated streamers on the site. In reaction to the announcement, Lazarbeam decided to do a 12-hour-long charity stream alongside some of other Australian YouTubers in order to raise money to fight the terrible Australian bushfires that were occurring at the time. They managed to raise 100,000 Australian dollars for the cause. There have been some wobbles along the way, especially in late 2019, when Epic Games added items like the Brute, the giant mechanical monster of mayhem that many of the Fortnite community despised in Season X. Lazarbeam was incredibly critical. He claimed, alongside many other streamers, that the Brute was an overpowered and unbalanced addition to the game, and that it should probably be removed. Then when Chapter 2 finally launched in October 2019, Lazarbeam seemed to have ditched Fortnite Battle Royale almost entirely. He claims that since Chapter 2 has arrived, Epic Games simply haven't been updating the game as much as they should, and as such, his interest in it has fallen off slightly. Instead, Lazarbeam has posted Roblox videos, TikTok videos, and Minecraft videos, up until the latest update where Fortnite added helicopters to the game. New content updates like this is what keeps Fortnite fresh and replayable, so it's no surprise that the biggest change to Fortnite Chapter 2 would bring him back. How long would his renewed new interest in Fortnite last? There's no real way to say, but considering Lazarbeam has Code Laser tattooed on his arm, it's likely he'll never abandon Fortnite Battle Royale forever. From being a kid who dropped out of school at a construction job, making videos on slow motion destruction, to a Madden Challenge content creator, to one of the biggest Australian gaming YouTubers, this was the untold story of Lazarbeam's rise to Fortnite fame.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe and, share with your friends, man. This is the
Video games on the internet? What? It's true. Thanks, science. Now I can play League of Legends.
Pretty much every esports title has its legends. Players reputed for their high skill level and list of accomplishments. Usually it just takes time for that sort of reputation to form. But on one summer weekend, there was a player that maybe you've heard of that rose to fame faster than anybody could have ever imagined. From dancing for a few dozen viewers, all the way to becoming an international icon. Yo, this guy's name is Bugha, and his journey to #1. What's going on, guys? It's the Motivation Guy. That's right, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen. You know, nothing in this life comes easy, man. You know, you gotta work hard every single day. You gotta stay consistent. You gotta be faithful with things. You gotta just be a beast, man, and just grind it out. Laziness. Bugha and his journey to #1. What's going on, guys? It's the Motivation Guy. That's right, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen. You know, nothing in this life comes easy, man. You know, you gotta work hard every single day. You gotta stay not only in this game, but also in life. So, you gotta work hard, guys. Come on, get up, keep going, keep grinding. Know that hard work does pay off. Trust me. Connect with me on my Instagram. I would love to hear from you. But before we get into it, guys, your question of the day is, where were you when you saw Bugha win it all? Was it in person? Were you at home? Or maybe with your friends or family? You know, I was by myself eating my bunch of crunch, you know, watching on the big screen myself, and the hype was unreal. Even though I was watching alone, well, I wasn't really alone, I had my bunch of crunch. It still felt like I was a part of something. Anyways, hey, let us know in the comments down below, where were you? Also, if you guys want to get better at Fortnite, click the link below to go to ProGuides.com, your #1 source for getting better at Fortnite. Now is the perfect time to start improving, man. We also have pro coaches that can guide you step by step on how to get better. Because tips are out there, but structure isn't. Let's be real. So don't forget to check this out after the video. All right, guys, now sit back, relax, and you better get my favorite candy right now, that bunch of crunch, and let's get it going. Kyle Bugha Giersdorf. What an amazing name. Was born on December 30th, 2002. He grew up in a small town of Potts Grove, Pennsylvania, a quiet community with a population of only a few thousand. Luckily for Bugha, he was born into a family that embraced the playful side of life. Oh. His dad was a video game enthusiast since before he was born, so it didn't take very long for Bugha to follow in his footsteps. By the time he was heading into kindergarten, Bugha was already into gaming. We don't know about which game he was playing at the time, but what we do know is that the history behind how he got his name.
What is Bugha from?
My grandpa gave me the name when I was like a baby. He used to say like Bugha, 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 and I used to laugh.
Oh, no way.
That's where I get it from.
Fast forward to the summer of 2017, Fortnite Save the World gets released by Epic Games, and Bugha's father, being the gamer that he is, takes notice. Of course, just like any excellent dad would, he gets his son